Hello everybody and welcome once again to the White Rock Caves here in Hastings, the home of the True Crime Museum, where I'm going to bring you the story of another one of our exhibits. It's a very, very gruesome one, this one, so if you are squeamish or of a weaker disposition, please turn off now. It's the story of a French criminal called Louis Lefevre. He was an armed robber in the early part of the 20th century who travelled with a small band of villains around France, rural areas, holding up businesses, shops, restaurants, that kind of thing. Not a particularly noteworthy criminal, but a very, very interesting story nonetheless. On one of their robbery sprees in early 1916, the gang stopped in a village just outside of Tours in France. They started drinking in a bar, and one of the members of the gang started to taunt Lefebvre, saying that he was an idiot and that he was a cuckold and his wife was in bed with another member of the gang upstairs. Lefebvre took exception to this and out of his pocket produced a calibre 2.7mm pistol. It's the smallest calibre of handgun in the world. He shot the accomplice who was taunting him. He then ran up the stairs of the hostel to the room where the gang was staying and indeed found his wife in bed with another of the gang members. He took a gun out of the drawer in the hotel room and shot dead his wife's lover. He then raped his wife and then shot her dead with a shot through the head. The next part of Lefebvre's story was really quite remarkable. He was arrested shortly after, tried and convicted of 3 murders and the rape of his wife, and he was sentenced to execution, which happened on the 16th of April 1916. It was an era in which a new science was being developed, that of criminal neurology. The science of neurology was being pioneered by police officers at New Scotland Yard at the time. So when Lefebvre's body was taken back to the morgue in France, they cut open his head, they did a cranial bisection and started to look at his brain because they believed that it was possible that some abnormality on his brain, some lesion or perhaps even something missing, caused this criminal behaviour. Neurology was a science that came after phrenology. Back in the Victorian age, it was thought that you could ascertain information on a person's criminality by feeling the bumps on their head. This was quite a lot of nonsense, but the science of neurology has rather more scientific basis to it. When the French doctors had cut open Lefebvre's head and examined his brain, they felt that they'd found some slight abnormalities within it, and so they went down to the local butcher's shop. They got some waxed paper and some string. They wrapped the head in this waxed paper, put it in a cardboard box, and unbelievably took it to the post office, where they sent it to the forensic laboratory at New Scotland Yard. When the police in this country at New Scotland Yard received the package, they examined Lefebvre's brain, they took photographs and they wrote a report and concluded that they could find no abnormality that might have contributed to his fury and to the murder of his 2 accomplices and the rape and murder of his wife. The skull was then defleshed. I had the skin and the hair taken off it by the New Scotland Yard scientists, and it was placed in the forensic laboratory there, which was where we obtained it from. The reports and the photographs were sent back to France. The story then takes another unusual twist, because one enterprising gendarme decided that he would steal one of the photographs and sell it to a French magazine. The magazine published the photograph of Lefebvre's head with the cranial incision across it under the title of Botched Execution. Lefebvre moves his head at the last minute and blade strikes him across the forehead. It was, of course, complete fabrication and a lot of nonsense. Just going to show that you cannot always believe what you read in the press. For more gruesome tales of the exhibits of the True Crime Museum Hastings, don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe.